We're going to get better at this. I got to get better at this. We need a theme song to kind of start things off. I don't know what it would be, but like some not that. That's terrible. But maybe like in the background, it could be like, why? It's going to be called Drinks with the Praphit. We go out, we get some drinks, and we solve some problems. Still got to come up with a title. And then maybe all this kind of stuff together with a beat in the background. Boom, something like that. I don't know. Theme music kicked off, and then I come in. What's up, everybody? It's time for a recap Drinks with the Praphit, and maybe I have some Praphit production type promo or something like that. I don't know, but then we get right into it, people. Solving problems is what we did a couple nights ago. I do have a bar review, which I'll do in the show as well, I guess. This bar, what was the bar called? We didn't actually meet at the bar for this one. We met at the studio. It was bring your own booze or bring your own beer. But there was a bar, we were just in Chicago, and the bar was called Green Tavern or something like that, Green Door Tavern. Cool bar, good beer, good people, good service, but pack of cougars was there. There was a pack of cougars there, and they were beautiful, but they had a lot of perfume going on. It was like just the smell of all the perfumes were merging, and it was filling the bar. And then the studio we were working with, the head of the studio, his name's James. Shout out to James. Reeks of weed. And we told him about himself. So I'm not like revealing anything here on this post. We told him about himself. He reeks of weed. So like he was there, he walks in and his weed smell, it's kind of like one of those weed smells that has like a 5-mile radius. So his weed smell was combining with the fragrances of the cougars, and it was filling the bar. And they have to be aware of that. The bar has to be aware of that and do something. Hey, there's too much funk in here. Y'all got to do something about it. Hose them down or something like that. Get rid of the funk. They didn't do that, so I'm taking off some points. B grade for this bar. B grade. Let me slide in, people, right into the problems. So we were solving some problems. Should we buy a Praphit Production a Monster or get a fire extinguisher? Can't have both. We want to solve debt issues. We want to solve some presidential issues. We were asking the question, what if Trump actually did get assassinated? And we have the question that I'm going to start off with today is, does faith and religion matter in dating? Does faith and religion matter in dating? We talked about that for a while. I think it depends. It depends. For example, let's take the Jewish faith. There's plenty of people I know who are Jewish by like just what their family does. They're Jewish in tradition, but they don't necessarily, they might believe in God, but not strongly. Their faith isn't really that strong. They're just kind of doing it because it's their heritage, they're doing it because it's what their family does, versus actually believing in God and following the Torah and all that kind of stuff. So it depends. But if, like, let's say you're, someone's Jewish and they're trying to get with somebody, I don't know, who's Catholic or something like that, there could be some problems depending on how strong your faith is, or with some of the traditions, it could be. Depends. You might have like the woman is Jewish and the guy is not, and she wants to know what's going on downstairs, if you know what I mean, right? And, perhaps you have to make a decision. Are you going to get cut, for the woman that you love or not to make this thing work? Are you willing to sacrifice a little bit? You're going to have to sacrifice a little bit. So maybe you do. Maybe you really love this woman and you want to make her happy in certain ways. So you say, you know what? I will get circumcised. And then she pulls out a knife, tells you to drop your pants, and maybe your love is that strong. But that's the kind of sacrifice you might have to make. I don't know. And then she does your business. She does the business down there and then throws your foreskin into some sort of bin of foreskin. I don't know what happens. That might be a little troublesome if she has a whole bin full of foreskins. Might be something to look into. But, it sacrifices, what I'm saying, is what you have to make. You might have, let's say it's Jewish and Catholicism, and you have to kind of work out whether you go to mass or go to synagogue, or maybe you do both. Perhaps you got, if you have kids, you have a son, you have to whip out the knife again to do business on your son's junk, or a daughter. Catholics don't believe in birth control. Maybe you got to change up. We're definitely going to have our daughter on birth control. We're going to stock her up with birth control because we know she's going to be a hoe. We named her Trixie. She's definitely going to be a hoe hoeing up the town. But you're prepared for that. So you have to be prepared for those things. You got to sacrifice. It all depends. I'm going to say at the end of the day, it does matter, especially if it's like you believe in God and they don't. Then it can be a real issue. It's be kind of like Michael Jordan is my GOAT. He is the GOAT, right? Let's say that you're a big sports fan, and one of you believes Michael Jordan's the GOAT, the other one believes Michael Jordan's just an all right player. That's a big problem. I don't know if you'd be able to reconcile that. Someone might say, well, he's okay. You know, I don't know, Scottie Pippen might have been better. That's sacrilege, all right? So you got to work those things out, be prepared to do so. That's it. That's it. And we have a lot more questions, but we're going to go through these quickly. Quickly, people. Which of these people will have the hardest time being president? A white woman, a black woman, a proud Muslim, a proud atheist, or a flaming gay guy? If I were to rank them from who could better chance of them being president versus not, I would say, I'm gonna go through these quickly. The white woman has the best chance if she's conservative. Next, I would say the black woman if she's conservative, sexy, and super smart, smartest person in the room. Then the black woman would be next. Next, I'd say the proud atheist. I think so. I think people would be reluctant. Churches definitely wouldn't want that. But if they had a lot of smart ideas, if they were conservative enough, it might work. The flaming gay guy, probably next. But the flaming gay guy is going to have to be really good at the politics thing, really good order, maybe some tax cuts or whatever. But the flaming gay guy would be next. And then lastly, I would say the proud Muslim. That's just how it is, people, unfortunately. That's just how it is. Next question. If the assassination took place, if it actually happened, I think the result would be like the 2020 riots. I feel like that would be still going on. 2020 riots. I think from the day that Trump got assassinated to now, and maybe 10 years now, it would be the beginning of the end, is what I think would happen. You'd have people like Joe Rogan, a bunch of middle-aged white comedians, fueling it a bit with conspiracy theories. People would take hold of that. It would be bad. It would have been bad. Monster or fire extinguisher? Obviously, we're going to get the monster. I think like if you have a monster that can maybe eat fire, that would be better. And I think it'd be cool to just have a monster around, running around. Maybe it eats people, maybe it doesn't. Exciting work day, you know? So we're definitely gonna get a monster for the studio over a fire extinguisher. Last question, how do we solve debt? I think since our president's such a bully, use those bullying skills. Go back to Canada, bully Canada into paying off all our debts. I think that's how you do it. And people, that's it. Try to be better. You try to be better. We'll all try to be better. And those are the resolutions. Splat out.